Na mtazamaji, basi tukiachana na hayo, hebu tuangazie taarifa nyingine, na hasa kuhusiana na mgomo wa wauguzi wa afya, ambapo kwa sasa wauguzi wanatoa taarifa kwa na habari kuhusiana na mgomo wao. Naomba kwa sasa tuwasikize moja kwa moja.
The initial signing of the return to work formula for the nurses union has not taken place, despite the fact that the issues we agreed on all the issues, and this is a clear indication that health sector in this country has not been taken with the seriousness it deserves. Kenyans are suffering outside there. This is because our leaders are not ready to provide leadership. Because if they are ready to provide leadership, then what is holding them to call the leadership of the union and come up with a way forward? It is clear that nurses and other health workers, and more so the health of Kenyans, nobody cares about it. And therefore, we are calling upon the leadership of this country to ensure that the rights of Kenyans that are enshrined in the Constitution are taken care of, because we are not doing justice to the Kenyans. We are not doing justice to the health workers, because the government agreed. If you see the agreement, the matrix that we agreed, the intergovernmental agency meetings, they agreed that indeed the issues that had been raised by the nurses were very genuine. It is agreeable that the issues that are being raised are very, very, very genuine. And therefore, when we come up with an agreement and say that indeed we have dropped this, we have taken this, in the spirit of give and take, we came up with an agreement which up to today the government has given a blind eye. And therefore we urge our members to stay put, because we did not go outside for the sake of it. We went outside because of legitimate issues, very genuine issues, and we cannot say that these issues have been resolved until we sign an agreement of commitment that indeed these issues are going to be addressed. Kwa hivyo ni kwamba sisi kama wauguzi atubaduki, kwa sababu kama tulishazungumza tayari na tukakubaliana huu mkataba ndio tutatia sahihi, basi ilifika wapi serikali ikapotea? Sisi tunaomba viongozi wa hii nchi ambao wametwikwa jukumu ya kuwahudumia wananchi wa Kenya. Katiba ya Kenya inawapa wananchi wa Kenya kupata huduma za matibabu. Hatufanyi haki kwa Wakenya wakati tunapo yaangalia masuala ambayo wauguzi na wahudumu wengine wa afya wanaibua na tunaendelea kuwanyamasia. Si haki kwa wahudumu wa afya, si haki kwa wauguzi, si haki kwa Wakenya. Kwa hivyo sisi kama uongozi wa wauguzi tunaambia our members ya kwamba tutaendelea na mgomo, kwa sababu masuala yale ambayo tulikuwa tumeyaibua katika ilani ambayo tulipeana hayajaweza kutimizwa. Yataweza kutimizwa wakati serikali watakubali ya kwamba huu mkataba ambao tulikubaliana tumeutia sahihi, yes. Na basi tutaweza kutoka hapo kuambia members wetu waweze kurudi kazini. Kwa hivyo kwa sasa mgomo uko siku ya 36 na utaendelea, kwa sababu sisi hatukuenda katika mgomo kwa sababu tulitaka. Tulisukumwa na yale maswala ambayo ni nyeti, na kufikia sasa hakuna moja ambalo limeweza kutekelezwa. Iliali tumekubaliana, ndio tutakubali ya kwamba serikali iko tayari kuyatimiza kama watakuja katika meza na kutia sahihi ule mkataba. Kwa hivyo kwa sasa nitampatia naibu katibu mkuu aweza kusoma taarifa rasmi. Kwa hivyo nikimalizia ni kwamba mgomo utaendelea mpaka wakati ule tutakapo kusikizwa kama wahudumu wa afya, kwa sababu kwa sasa tumeachwa kama mayatima. Hakuna mtu ambaye anatujali, na kwa sababu imefikia hicho kiwango, basi sisi tunasema ya kwamba ni lazima tutaendelea kupigania haki ambayo tumepewa na katiba ya Kenya. Asanteni.
Okay.
Okay, good morning, members of the Fourth Estate. I'm Maurice Odhiambo Petro, the Deputy General Secretary, Kenya National Union of Nurses. Mine is to read the official statement of the union, to give the position of the union on the ongoing strike, which is on its 36th day. And we want to state categorically that this union of nurses has done all its best to ensure that the issues that have been raised by the nurses through the strike notice are addressed and resolved. But it is unfortunate that even after fully engaging both levels of government in negotiating on the issues that were raised by the nurses through the multi-agency committee and concluded and drafted a return to work agreement, the government has not moved to sign that agreement so that we can go back to work. The union is aware that the two levels of the government have been engaging amongst themselves with other governmental agencies in order to sign the return to work agreement. It is unfortunate that we have learned that the meeting which was supposed to be held yesterday by the Council of Governors to pave way for the signing of the return to work agreement did not materialize. This is a clear indication that the nurses and other health workers have been totally exposed to an ending stalemate, while wananchi are suffering just because the Council of Governors have not agreed amongst themselves to pave way for the signing of the return to work agreement. In view of the above, we advise our members to stay put as we await for the signing of the return to work agreement and have permanent solution to our issues and the issues that are facing the health sector of this nation. So, in simpler terms, I want to say that the union negotiated with both levels of the government under the umbrella of multi-agency committee that was put in place by the same government so that we could find a solution to our issues. But to date, it is unfortunate that the side of the government, that is the Council of Government, has not committed themselves to signing the return to work agreement, which is ready and fully negotiated in their presence. Therefore, the citizens of this nation should know that the problems which are facing them, the sufferings which they are undergoing, are not because of the health workers, are not because of the nurses who are actually on legal industrial action, but it is because of the Council of Governors who have not agreed amongst themselves to come and sign the return to work agreement. We want to appreciate the commitment of the Minister for Health, the CS Health, Bwana Mutahi Kagwe, for engaging himself, for committing himself, for using all his time to ensure that we come to an agreement that has not been agreed upon by the Council of Governors for their own reasons, to come so that they can sign and we finalize the conclusion of resolutions to this strike. Therefore, our members should stay put until such a time that the government, especially the COG, will see it fit for them to come and sign the return to work agreement with us, because They were fully engaged. They were fully present. They were fully represented in the negotiations which were concluded. And the union committed itself to that negotiation and gave all it could so that we could agree. And the agreement was reached, which is on the table of the labor minister. Therefore, we call upon the citizens of this nation to demand for their rights from the governors whom they elected, so that they can see the sense and the suffering of wananchi. Then they come and sign the return to work agreement. Failure to which, even if it is going to take 1 year and above before they come to sign, we shall not go back to work, because the issues we raised were genuine. The committees that we were given to negotiate it with also agreed with us. And that is how we drafted the return to work formula. So therefore, there is no reason for any other person, any other entity to come and disagree with that agreement at this level. We call upon the head of state of this nation to intervene with speed so that he can save the citizens of Kenya from the suffering that is being caused by some entities of the government who are refusing to sign the return to work agreement. Our members are fully on strike in all the branches, all the public facilities, and as we made it clear the other time, we are in consultations with the MTRH, that is my Teaching and Referral Hospital, and KNH, that the delays that we are facing and seeing that is overwhelming them in those facilities will not be allowed to go further, and therefore they are going to make their pronouncements of when they are going to start also their strike, so that the government can see the seriousness of the issues which were raised by the health workers in public facilities. Thank you. Any question?
Yes, I have 2 questions.
Yes.
When was the last time that the nurses received their salaries? And what's the union's take on the suspended or fired nurses in Kisumu County?
I want to say that we have nurses who have not received their salaries for 16 months. One of those counties where this has been done is Vihiga County, which, after failing to pay salaries to the contracted nurses for 18 months, they only paid for 2 months. And they only paid to a bunch of nurses, leaving around 39 of them out, even in that meager payment of only 2 months out of 18 months. In some counties, they have not paid the December salaries. In a county like Mombasa, they have not paid even November salaries. And this is what we are saying: the county government should take responsibility and pay the health workers the way they should be paid. 2, I want to make it very clear that the county governments have tried to go to the courts, labor courts, and get injunctions for our strike. But the courts had directed on the 15th of December that they engage the health workers, the nurses unions, under the umbrella of labor ministry, and reach an agreement and file a progress report on the 28th of January. So the strike by the nurses, the clinical officers, has never been pronounced as illegal, and therefore the disciplinary action the dismissals, the sackings that we are seeing in those counties are null and void. And our members should not be intimidated by them or should not be cowed by those intimidations through sacking, through dismissals, and other forms of intimidations. Therefore, what Kisumu County has done, what Kisii County has done, what Mombasa County has done are illegal and invalid by law, because our strike, as it stands to date, is protected strike. Thank you.
Yeah. Bwana SD, I just wanted to know, the Council of Governors is arguing that Treasury has not supported them in the demands, and therefore they are unable to implement that. And then there's also the issue you've just raised, the issue of involving Moi Teaching and Referral and Kenyatta. They are separate entities with separate...
Naam, bila shaka mtazamaji, hapo ni viongozi wa chama cha wauguzi ambacho ni KNUN wakizungumza kuhusiana na mgomo ambao unaendelea ukiwa kwenye siku ya 36, na wanasema kwamba wataendelea na mgomo huo hadi pale serikali